Nigerians are anxiously waiting for the 3,000 buses promised as part of efforts to alleviate the impact of petrol subsidy removal. The promise made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in a nationwide broadcast on Monday will require 100 billion naira between now and March 2024. Major transportation companies in states across the country are expected to be part of the initiative, distributing the buses based on travel intensity per capita. The 20-seater vehicles, which will run on compressed natural gas (CNG), is being offered to transport companies at 9% per annum with a 60-month repayment period. Questions are now being asked on how these buses will be distributed, the novel fuel required, how drivers will access this fuel, and general management necessary for the buses. And this is our focus on Nigeria Today. Welcome to the program. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Thank you for joining us. Joining me to discuss President Tinubu's policy on affordable transportation is Comrade Mohammed Tukur Abo, Senior Advisor to the President, National Union of Road Transport Workers on mass transit and heavy trucks. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Also joining us via Zoom is Professor Ganiyu Sumaila, former Director General, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, Kaduna. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, let me start with you, Prof. Some have described this gesture as an ambitious policy. Is it really ambitious?
Well, thank you very much. It is important to set the stage. And I think, I'm not too sure.
We seem to have lost his audio there. We hope to get back to him as soon as it is resolved. So let me come to you, sir. Now, I asked him a question. Is it feasible, this policy of the buses?
Well, it is going to be visible if the government make it to be visible. Why am I saying so? This CNG project has been on the table discussing over the years. But now, with the pronouncement of Mr. President, we are hopeful that if the government give the desired attention, it will kickstart,
okay,
and it's going to be possible. Okay. But there are a lot of things that needs fire brigade approach, because they are not difficult if the government are serious. Because presently we are all aware CNG is going to be more cheaper, eco-friendly, and a lot of advantages.
Okay.
And by implementing it, a lot of investors, when they make the environment nice for the investors to come and invest, when they kickstart the government, by kickstarting, it will work.
Okay.
So,
it
to
is
me,
feasible.
is a right step
in the right
taken.
direction.
Yes.
Okay, I'm told Professor Sumaila is back. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please carry on.
Thank you very much, and good evening, viewers and Nigerians. I think what the president has said or plans to do, I think I will not say it is ambitious. I think it is good. We must realize that once transport costs, other sectors of the economy will sneeze. And that is what is happening. And that is the reaction that is going on now, that government wants to attack the issue of transportation because of the reverberating effect it has on various sectors of the economy. So I think the palliative put in place, as far as I'm concerned, is workable. And so for a start, I want to say that it is workable. It is something that can be done. And the time lag that has been given between now and March 2024, I think it is still possible to achieve it. And that, of course, will set the stage for proper mass transit. But let me say this conceptually. I think there is some little confusion about mass transit and affordable transit. Mass transit, yes, carrying large number of people, affecting a large sector, spectrum of the society. Affordable is, in most cases, conceptually, is targeted at a particular sector of the society. But it does not matter whether it is mass transit or affordable transit. What is important is that something is being planned to take care of the mobility needs of Nigerians. And so to that extent, I think it is possible. And I think government can, be lauded for this particular, for what they are planning to do. I think it is possible. I think it is working.
Okay, still staying with you, Prof. Is the Nigerian transport sector ready for this policy? How can we take advantage of this in spite of the issues in the transport sector?
Yes, can you say it again? I'm not hearing you.
Okay, I said, is the Nigerian transport sector ready for this policy? And how can we take advantage of this in spite of the issues in the transport sector?
I think Nigerians should be ready because the situation now requires some quick action. And whatever palliatives we are talking about in transport can also be segmented. You can also look at it sectorially. So I think that because what is being proposed is likely to take care of interstate, intercity, inter-community movement. And I think Nigerians are prepared for it. But we can also do very quick actions, what people call the low-hanging fruit, those things that can immediately touch. So we can sectoralize the palliatives. For instance, as it is today, we have urban mass transit. We have union mass transit. We have various organizations, various ministries have buses. And these are things that, these are areas that can also be targeted very, very quickly, to resolve the situation that has arisen from the removal of fuel subsidy. So I think Nigerians can take advantage of that. And I see that it is also one thing that has actually gladdened my heart is the fact that it is not federal government alone that is doing it. The three tiers of government are involved, the states and the local government. And so you are likely to see the effects reverberating throughout the entire country. And so to that extent, Nigerians can begin to take advantage. Private operators can begin to take advantage. Even those who are not in transport have the opportunity now of registering. And it's a matter of getting involved. Everybody can be involved. So I think that Nigerians can take advantage of that. And the fact that the states and the local governments are part of this and they are given this responsibility to drive this process, in their various areas of jurisdiction. I think it is something that is marvelous.
Okay, let me ask Comrade on one more question before we take a break. 3,000 buses for Nigerians. What is or what would be the sharing formula?
Well, it's just a takeoff. That's how I look at it. And you know, in transport, there are mega cities like
Kano,
Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and the rest. And we thank God already some of the states, they have started their own. Whatever they will get from this ratio, given the states, it will help in bringing the needed relief. And when they make everything possible, because it's not the provision of CNG buses. There are a lot of states where to get the CNG, and that one needs quick action. And by the time that thing starts, individuals will queue in. Private transport companies will queue in. Transport organizations like ours will queue in. And it will work. But the way I'm looking at it now, though we know the economic situation of the country, the emphasis, the way I look at it, is on urban areas.
Okay, all right.
When you are talking of mass transit, the most important thing, the way it comes, is how to transport civil servants in the mega cities so that civil servants will get relief, can get to their workplaces. But I think in second phase, they have to look at other sectors of the economy, because the transport, the difficulties, the inflation we are facing in this country is all related one way or the other to the high cost of transportation. And fuel, this fossil fuel that we are buying compared to CNG, CNG would be cheaper according to what they are saying, either 40 or 40-something% cheaper and cleaner. Then, if you have something cheaper and it's good, you introduce it and people can get it. I think
it's better.
It will work.
Thank you. Let's pause and listen to what Nigerians are saying about this whole issue. Take a look.
For these 3,000 buses, it's a welcome development. And if you calculate it, we have 36 states plus Abuja, or you divide it into those things, we begin more almost 81 buses, of which every local government, at least one local government, can get more than 3 or so.
Yeah, it's a good thing. At least as a civil servant, I will have less trouble. Yeah, I will just pick it up from whatever angle I'm coming from, and I will find my way in the city.
It's not to order it, it's the maintenance. And secondly, if we can maintain them, at least we will have the staffs, the civil servants, which some of them cannot buy cars with their money. At least it will help.
Anyway, it's a good thing. But the problem is that can government have a maintenance culture? Can they maintain the motor? They have been bringing before. It's not the only one. It's not the new thing. We have been seeing. Give them 6 months. They don't pack up. That's the problem. They don't have maintenance culture. Go to Obama. How many of them they there? How many buses they there? All those things it's not new to the people.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and my guests are still with me. Comrade Mohammed Tukur Abu, Senior Advisor to the President, National Union of Road Transport Workers on Mass Transit and Heavy Trucks. And I also have via Zoom Professor Ganiyu Sumaila, former Director General, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, Kaduna. Prof, you heard what Nigerians were saying out there. They're talking about maintenance culture. Now, well, these buses will be powered with with CNG, like was earlier said. Now, how conversant are Nigerian drivers with this new trend, and where will the vehicles be powered from?
Yeah, I'm not sure that from what I have read, I'm not sure that these vehicles will be run by government, because the loans that transport operators are going to be assessed, I think it is not going to be run by government. So the issue of maintenance culture of government, I don't think it comes in here. And I think that it is also better to allow the private sector to get involved. What government does is to monitor the service, monitor the operation. So I think that it is better to allow the private sector. I did say at the beginning that the concept, because I listened to my colleague in the studio, the concept of mass transit is slightly different from the concept of affordable transit. And what he said is, yes, for now, mass transit, which I said can also be, you can do it in segments. Once the vehicles are there, organized labor, organized mass transit organization, unions can key into it. And that will affect mass transit, even though the 20-seater bus is by definition. Yes, but let us not even bother about that. That can help improve movement in urban center. But you can also, as a second phase of this program, have an affordable mass transit. The affordable transit targets the poor specifically. And that is where, again, the issue of government subsidizing what happens at the level of fare rating can come in. So affordable mass transit can take place, particularly targeting the rural communities, the poor. But for what is happening now, yes, it can be done in the urban centers. And it is not, I'm not sure it's going to be a government-run program. If they do that, then that is likely to fail, given what everybody is saying. But I think that the private sector, with the loan they have, can get involved, can buy into this program, get the vehicles, and various organizations, can also get involved in it. And that will, of course, solve to a very large extent mass transit in the urban center. Then I think as a second phase, we can begin to look at the affordable transit, where you are targeting particular people. And so the subsidy we are paying for fuel at whatever level can now be done at the level of providing affordable transit system.
I know while he was talking, you were reacting to some of his comments there. Is there something you'd like to add?
Well, you see, one good thing of the pronouncement of Mr. President is giving single-digit interest on the loan. Mm-hmm. And for the first phase, 100 billion. Okay. I think that is what is in the speech of Mr. President. I think for us to get it right, to maintain transport, government to maintain transport is going to be a difficult issue. But as what the professor have said, for the initial stage, it can be monitored. And the transport companies, because there are some states, you can't get transport companies that the real transport operators, but that are on the ground. Mm-hmm. But with this, you will see fake transporters coming in with their records, registered with CAC as a transport company coming up.
So how will you check this?
Yes, there is this thing, because we know in the southern part, eastern part, and some of these, you get, but there are some states you hardly, apart from government transport corporations, you get few transport companies, very few. But if they want this program to succeed, let commercial banks also to be encouraged to also invest in giving such loans to transport operators. Okay. And also government should come in this way. Conversion kits is very, very important. Whether they will subsidize it to encourage, as in the, when we are young, when they were introducing fertilizer, they used to give you fertilizer free, but today we are buying fertilizer 20-something. Let them provide
the conversion
kits as encouragement. And also, second option, let them consider subsidizing the kits. Okay. And there is need to partner with transport organizations. Okay. Because the concept, when you are talking of only mass transit, it's not the civil servants alone that are feeling the pains of this something. And if you look at the transportation of food items, goods, people, is mostly done through interstates and what have you, interlocal governments, and all these things need to encourage to have these kits, and also to provide loans, maybe for the conversion kits if they cannot give free and they cannot subsidize, to get people to access loans either through microfinance something, and make the repayment terms easy. Just like what they did with prepaid meters. And another option that is very important, that need quick action, is where each state capital, possibly local government, to have wire to power with CNG. And already on the ground there is a practical something that they can compare. Of recent, we start to see people advertising carburetor for these generators. And people, if you go to the village, people are switching and are making business out of it. And they have tried it, it's cheaper and it's cleaner. So this thing matters. And if the government will take to this emergency, tankers, that is the vehicle tanks with the IPMAN and other like NITT and other, to collaborate and make sure that we have these powering stations all over the places. Before we realize, we will not be talking of government either providing buses. And another thing that the government need to consider, we have local transport assembly, vehicle assembly plants, like Innoson, Oma, and a lot of them. And apart from these high capacity buses they are talking about, there are other companies that are having 7-seater CNG powered, 14-seater CNG. Then why can't the government encourage these companies by bringing all transport operators, and also to provide loan facilities to acquire locally assembled vehicles that are powered by CNG. That one will help, and it will change the whole scenario.
All right. Thank you, Comrade. You really said a lot, and in fact, there's a lot that needs to be done for this to work.
Yes.
But I know that at the end of the day, it will work, especially with enlightenment with the drivers. They should know everything. They should be carried along. Well, we've run out of time. We wish we had more time to talk more. But first, let me appreciate you, Comrade Mohammed Tukur Abo, Senior Advisor to the President of the NURTW on mass transit and heavy trucks. Thank you for your insight.
Thank you.
Very enlightening.
Thank you.
And we must also thank Professor Ganiyu Sumaila, former DG, Nigeria Institute of Transport Technology, Kaduna. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
That's it on Nigeria Today. Thank you for always being a part of the program. Don't forget, the program airs weekdays at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. And you can watch this and other episodes on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. Thank you for watching. I am Lydia Odijochi. Join us again tomorrow.